At last check on FanDuel, the San Francisco 49ers are plus 260 to repeat as NFC champions. Then there's a significant gap with the Lions at 5-1, Eagles at 6-1, etc. Kyle Shanahan's bunch is in a tier unto itself, but several NFC teams could prove to be worthy challengers. Let's take a deeper dive into if San Fran should be so heavily favored, but we'll also look at two other intriguing challengers who could offer us value: the Dallas Cowboys and the Los Angeles Rams. It's a three-team look at the top of the NFC. Welcome to the Football Analytics Show podcast. I'm Edward Egros as part of our preview of the upcoming football season. In 4 of the last 5 seasons, San Francisco has appeared in the NFC Championship game, winning it twice. This offseason may have featured drama, but Brandon Ayuk will still wear the red and gold, as will the other key pass catchers and left tackle Trent Williams. But any analysis of the 49ers should begin with quarterback Brock Purdy. The catch-all quarterback statistics, like his 2023 campaign, EPA CPOE composite, gave him the highest mark. So did ESPN's quarterback rating. PFF's adjusted completion percentage puts him 3rd among qualifiers. And the group's offensive grade had Purdy 4th overall, as did win probability added, listed at NFELO. And yet, there's still consternation over if Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, is actually a good quarterback, or if he's in a system any competent gunslinger can succeed in. Let's look at his most recent game, Super Bowl 58. While Purdy's start may have been decent, Kansas City defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo decided to switch things up and blitz, sending an added rusher on a season-high 52.4% of dropbacks and, per next-gen stats, accrued 9 unblocked pressures. While the Chiefs' defensive line is more than formidable, they also had looks never seen before, according to reporting from The Ringer. Stacking the box like 6 defenders on the line with a linebacker just off the line, all to force Purdy to throw and keep the ball out of running back Christian McCaffrey's hands. The Chiefs also have a propensity to use split safety coverages when blitzing, at one of the higher rates in football, again, per next-gen stats. So even when Brock Purdy is expecting the blitz or feels quick pressure because his offensive line let him down, it's difficult to know what's going on downfield because it could be a variety of options. A natural pundit thing to say here is the Chiefs provided a blueprint for how to beat the 49ers. Stop them from running and get Purdy to throw the ball. Well, what the heck do you think all these other defenses were trying to do all season long? The 49ers faced a lot of stacked boxes, and it didn't matter. McCaffrey still got his, and when appropriate, Purdy still made plays. NFL defenses often play to their strengths, and usually it's predictable enough to where an offensive genius like Kyle Shanahan will have an answer for most everything, as long as he's expecting it. When he's not, like the Super Bowl, then the offense probably takes a step back, as would any other unit. As far as what to bet on, while Ayuk's target share only ranks 20th among all wide receivers in football, largely the entire collection of pass-catching talent returns. There's little reason to believe Purdy can't get the ball to him frequently. The receiving number is 1,000.5 yards. I would take the over. There may be little value in betting on the favorite to win the NFC, but there are other ways to back this offense to stay on course for 2024, like Ayuk going over his receiving yards number. Now, on to the Dallas Cowboys. At the end of last season, the Power Ranks member rankings, adjusted for strength of schedule, had the Dallas Cowboys 10th in the National Football League, below the likes of Philadelphia, Detroit, and Green Bay, who shellacked the Cowboys in the wildcard round of the playoffs. While the Cowboys pummeled inferior opponents and amassed a ton of turnovers by picking on bad quarterbacks, when they faced decent to excellent competition, they were not nearly as effective. It also felt like the elite season Dak Prescott enjoyed went to waste. His EPA per play ranked 3rd with close to a 70% passing completion rate and 36 passing touchdowns. Prescott was rightfully in the MVP conversation, despite not having both a reliable second option at wide receiver and an offensive line scoring a top 10 pass blocking grade per PFF. But let's take a closer look at how this O-line retooled this offseason. Granted, it included losing future Hall of Famer but oft-injured Tyron Smith and center Tyler Biadasz, But Brandon Thorne analyzes offensive lines for a living and says the new Cowboys unit ranks 17th out of 32 teams in experience, but also 6th in overall weight and 4th in athleticism using the relative athletic score from Kent Lee Platt. Zach Martin and Tyler Smith are still there. Terrence Steele has incredible potential. Tyler Guyton is a rookie, but a first-round pick. And center Cooper Beebe may be in a new position to succeed. While the pass blocking should improve, the area that should help us the most with our bets is run blocking. It was obvious the Cowboys did not trust the blocking or the running backs in the red zone last season, explaining why they had so many passing touchdowns. But by bringing back Ezekiel Elliott for goal line situations, for instance, and having a new stable in the backfield, it is possible the Cowboys want to go away from short passing situations to keeping things on the ground. And that approach would also help us address something Dr. Ed Fang has talked about and something many of us are expecting: natural Dak Prescott regression. His interception rate will probably go up, so to keep the actual number of turnovers down in neutral script situations, maybe better to limit the number of pass attempts. On FanDuel, Dak Prescott's passing touchdown prop is set at 28.5. I would take the under. It's also hard to recommend the Cowboys at 9-1 to win the NFC Championship, not because they haven't reached the Super Bowl in 3 decades, but in the here and now, there are still not enough indicators to suggest the Cowboys' ceiling is as high as the 49ers and Lions. Finally, let's take a look at the Los Angeles Rams. At the end of last season, the Power Ranks member rankings adjusted for strength of schedule had the LA Rams 13th in the National Football League. Even though the offense featured surprise youngsters like Puka Nacua and Kyren Williams, this defense had trouble stopping anyone. To make matters worse for this side of the ball, Aaron Donald retired, and their schedule features the Lions, Packers, and 49ers twice. It is one of the tougher stretches for any team in the NFC, but as Cleve TA pointed out in his preview guide, rookies Kobe Turner and Bryant Young generated nearly 100 pressures and 19 sacks. New cornerbacks, including Tre'Davious White and Darius Williams, could improve the pass defense. Linebacker Ernest Jones may have shockingly been traded away, but it adds roster flexibility and opportunities for young linebackers to earn playing time. Lastly, the Rams had few takeaways, and though this stat is unstable from one season to the next, it can also suggest they'll be in a position to be luckier and have more this year. What matters more, though, is how the offense will perform. The combination of head coach Sean McVay and quarterback Matthew Stafford has been undeniably successful. It's not just the Super Bowl. Since joining the Rams, Matthew Stafford has had the 8th highest success rate per RBSDM.com. And that includes an injury to his neck, concussion, and subsequent recovery. He's also used the middle of the field effectively, throwing 17% of his passes there since 2022, tied for 6th highest among qualifying quarterbacks. Lastly, even though the Rams live in 11 personnel, Stafford had no trouble targeting wide receivers at the highest rate and connecting with them for a ton of yards. It's also a group keeping their key skill players, so Nacua could be on an uptick, as well as Cooper Kupp and Demarcus Robinson continuing to play key roles. And Kyren Williams, with his 6th most rushing yards over expected a season ago, suggests stability going forward. As many have pointed out, depth everywhere is a concern. It's been that way for years, as 2022 was a sign that when not healthy, the Rams can fall apart. But if healthy, they can achieve great things. It's a bigger payout at 15-1 for the Rams to win the NFC, but given what should be an improved defense and consistent offense, there is value to bet on the Rams to make it to the Super Bowl. The Football Analytics Show is brought to you by the 60-Minute Guide to the 2024 football season. This is Ed Fang's audiobook preview that contains 2 deep dive stories that apply analytics to football betting. To learn more, go to thepowerrank.us. That is a URL that will take you to a place on the Power Rank where you can learn how you might be able to listen for free on Spotify. Once again, that's thepowerrank.us. The Football Analytics Show is also brought to you by the Power Rank Sports Betting Newsletter. Looking for some action on any given weekend? Well, this is the free service for you, as 5 Nugget Saturday gives Ed Fang's curated list of tips and analytics. It includes insights from people like me Edward Egros. To sign up for free, go to thepowerrank.com. That is EdFang's site for better data-driven sports betting information. Once again, that's thepowerrank.com. Thanks again for listening to this installment of the Football Analytics Show. This is Edward Egros. Please follow me on Twitter and Instagram for my latest insights at EdWithSports. That's at EdWithSports. Take care, everybody.